Alright, had some people requesting that I do another video of timing belt, doing the tension for the hydraulic tensioner part of this. So I'm redoing it for all you DSMers out there, make your life easier. Now I have a J Racing timing belt toolkit. Basically we have this piece right here, the piece that holds the cams still, so you're not having to use zip ties. Makes life easier because you don't have to worry about the timing gears, the marks here being off. If you see, it's got, if it'll focus here, it's got a mark right here for the timing gear, a line in the middle, and then the yellow one right there. So basically you line them up, it's matched right in between it, so you can't mess it up. And then once you're done, you just basically pull this out. I've got my grenade pin here for my hydraulic tensioner. I basically keep this in case I have to reuse it. I don't like to get rid of it. And if you don't have one, something small like a drill bit or something like that will work. Let's see what else. I've got the whole kit from J Racing. Obviously it's got the plastic piece here, got this piece right here for the pulley. And then we've got this rod right here, and this what this does. I don't ever really use this one, but the only time I ever use it is if by chance the hydraulic tensioner here gets extended, the pin that goes down in there, if it gets extended all the way out, it makes it a little bit easier to compress it back in once it's bolted up. Otherwise you may have to use a vise or something to get it all the way in, and basically you're just you're putting it up in this hole here. It's going to go all the way through, of course, the little hole there, and it'll come down to the pulley. And on the back side, basically what you're doing, you're pressing this rod right here to push the pin back in, and that's basically what this does. But I hardly ever use it because it's a grenade pin is where it needs to be. I don't really have to use this. I'm using my pulley here and this tool right here to make all the tension to get this piece where I need it. So we won't worry about this piece right here. I'll put that off to the side. Other tools I will need, I'll need I usually use a 1/4 inch drive socket with a 8mm, or I mean a 1/4 inch drive ratchet with an 8mm socket, and then either 14mm wrench or a ratchet with a 14mm socket on it to loosen and tighten it down. Now of course I have it loosened up right now. Of course, my engine is out, just hanging on the hoist right now, about to go in. But timing marks are lined up. Obviously, the cam gears are lined up the way they should be. I have my oil pump lined up, although I don't have balance shafts, so this part really doesn't matter. And then, of course, I have my timing mark here for the crank. Let's see. All right. I've got my grenade pin here. Of course, that doesn't really want to come out. It's nice and firm. Once we have the tension set, we should be able to move this in and out real easily. And once we can move it in and out, we'll know timing is set. I've got my assistant here. I've got my 8-year-old daughter here helping me out. Going to be my camera girl here. So, Katrina, if you could hold that for me. Okay. Basically, what we're doing here. Okay, can you on it right there? Can you see my hands?
Yeah,
okay.
I zoomed in a little.
Basically what we're doing, we're turning this counterclockwise, okay? And once, when we do that, it's basically pressing this arm right here down onto the pin, and we get enough tension, if you notice, we can now slide it in and out easily enough, okay? It's got a hole right here. It's got a hole in the pin there, and it's got a hole on the back side of this tensioner. And once that tension is right, you should be able to do this right here. Once that is correct, all you have to do is tighten down this bolt right here, and you're done. Okay. The next thing you have to do, excuse me, the next thing you have to do, you'd want to turn your crank over a good bit and make sure it's got a bunch of cycles through it, maybe about 8 to 10 times or so. I forget the exact number, but anyway, you want to turn it over, wait about 15 minutes, come back and make sure this is set. Because what will happen is if you don't have this tension correct on here, the pin here can either go up or down, and you come back and you check it, and you may have to fight it. It may not go in and out easily enough. So right now we have it where we need to be. I'm going to go ahead and put my 14 millimeter socket up here and tighten this down. And I'll check it. Of course, make sure you take this off right here. And it's going all the way through all 3 holes. Make sure you're not making the mistake of putting it through the first hole and the second hole, but it's not hitting the back one. You need to make sure it's through all 3 holes. Once you can get it in there and it's moving freely, take this piece right here out, and then you just got to rotate it over. Then just come back about 15 minutes. If you can still do this, move it in and out easily, you're good to go. If not, you need to come back, reset your tension, and that's it. But basically that's all you have to do, setting your timing belt tension. Once this moves in and out freely, see it's already kind of tightening up here, so I may have to reset that. But once it's good and you can pull it in and out freely, you're good to go. I'll reset mine and have it where I can move it in and out. But that's basically it, the steps of trying to set the tension for your timing belt. I won't go into the balance shaft belt because obviously I don't have that here, but if you don't have balance shaft belts and you're just doing your timing belt, that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me.